Hey there, welcome back to Reddit XO, the best channel for Reddit cheating stories. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more stories like these. Now, let's get into the video. 1 year ago today, my wife, 32 female, forgot it was our 10th anniversary together, and I, 32 male, have to thank her. This is my story 9 months post-D-Day. Part 2. I decide to stand near the window in the hopes of catching a glimpse of the car/guy she returns with. She returns around 2.5 hours later. I did get to see the automobile and hear part of what she said to him outside the car. And what I hear instantly reminds me of how we used to say goodbye to each other when we first started dating. Cheating had begun to ascend the list of reasons for her behavior at this time, but it was still far from the top. Yes, she was still foolish and blind. On another occasion, I discovered in her laundry, yes, I'm not proud, but desperation causes you to do things you never thought you'd do. The pants she wore the day/night she went out for coffee, or dinner, or company party. I don't remember. Had a lot of what I believe was vaginal fluid, and I mean a lot. This is not typical. Nobody has that much fun at work, or when they're just hanging out with their buddies. That's when I realized she was having an affair with me. My heart felt like it was being yanked from my chest. I had discovered the metaphorical gun with bullets, but it wasn't a smoking gun in my opinion. There was still a 1% possibility it was a hoax. Could she have been? There is no need for a third party to step in. So I decided to sneak a look at her phone. It was quite difficult since, in my opinion, that is a terrible thing. If you get to that point, you're done. There's no trust, no hope. I was even given the opportunity, but I declined at the last minute. I had a conversation with a buddy who revealed that he, too, had been cheated on. He had never addressed it before, and that my wife's behavior was identical to that of his unfaithful lover. That was the last straw. I finally got a chance to look at her phone, and there it was, thousands of texts exchanged between her and this coworker who was going through a difficult time because his mother had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, another low blow. My grandmother suffered from deep Alzheimer's disease for about 10 years until she passed away. So she knew this was a soft spot for me, full of talk, pics on underwear from them, both everything. They'd been doing it for at least a year before I found out. 1 whole year. The same length as our lifeless bedroom and her abusing me by withholding love. She decided not just to cheat on me, but also to remain loyal or faithful to him. As though her relationship with her spouse was wrong and a betrayal of the other person. I'm pleased she did it, however. As far as I know, I didn't have to fight the desire to have with her or even touch her before after he was inside her, or she kissing me after giving him a blowjob, which she claimed she didn't enjoy giving him, but with him it was an appetizer or a dessert in their meal. Yes, she did what people do with meals. I was saddened as soon as I learned of this clear proof, but this time I was prepared for it and didn't break instantly. I resolved to leave her as soon as possible. My circumstance was the best it could be in this scenario. I have no children, no home, and no lease in my name. I could just pack my belongings and depart as soon as I discovered a suitable spot for myself. I also chose not to tell her what I discovered or, more crucially, how I discovered it. So I maintained my cool and if nothing had occurred. I even assisted her with her attire as she prepared to attend a large work party, and I already knew that was not the main event for that night. He would be there as well. So naturally, they did what adults do. She departed about an hour later, and I was finally able to weep, scream, rage, get angry, and let all of my feelings out. I phoned my buddy, read more of their messages, made this Reddit account, and spent approximately 4 hours crafting my narrative before posting it to r/dead bedrooms, which I had been following for the previous 6 months, when I assumed our situation was just a dead bedroom. I'd want to thank everyone who helped me at the time and gave me advice, as well as referred me to beneficial resources like this community, which I've been following ever since. Of course, I couldn't sleep and remained up till she got home at 7 a.m. Of course, she informed me that her group of friends had been the last to leave the party and that it had been fantastic. You and I both know what I'm talking about. Later that day, in one of her messages to him, she wrote, "The after-party left my tig bruised due of the handbrake. Nearly all automobiles in my country have handbrakes between the driver's and passenger's seats. So it's apparent what type of after-party it was. That occurred over the weekend. Throughout the week, I pretended to be stupid while meeting with attorneys, finding a place to live, and arranging for my mail to be sent to a new address. All the while, she remained late at work. Another look at her texts reveals that she wasn't working, but rather waited on the other man for another round of. They had more times in the preceding 2 weeks than we had in the previous 18 months of our marriage. Congratulations, wife. By Friday, I had everything packed and ready to go. As soon as she left for work, my relatives arrived and assisted me in packing and transporting all of my belongings to my new home. I wrote her a message at the end of the day stating, "You are aware of what you have been doing." I've left the home and filed for divorce, and promptly blocked her before calling her mother to inform her of the divorce. I didn't say why. I just said that her kid was aware of what she had been doing and that she should explain. My wife continued attempting to phone me, but she couldn't get through. I contacted my mother, but she never returned my call. In the previous 10 years, she never called my mother. She even phoned my pals, but that were already aware of what was going on and never returned her call. She then texted me using the same app she was using with her AP, accusing me of being indoctrinated by a former coworker and going to live with her. Ridiculous accusation and a classic example of projection. I had her blocked. I only got to speak with her twice more. The next Wednesday, I contacted her to inform her that the lawyer had given her a letter including all of the details of the divorce. She attempted to play the lost wife card, implying that she doesn't understand what's going on or why I'm doing this. She started weeping, stating that she had always battled for us and that I had never done so. That she had been thinking for a while that we should attend to marriage counseling. I believe most of us are aware of all of this. The trouble is, I nearly fell for it. After that phone call, I began to doubt what I knew to be undeniably true. My bruised and battered heart, on the other hand, began to mistrust and wanted to believe in all her nonsense. Fortunately, I had copies of their communications and read some of them to obtain a sense of reality. Yes, it was agonizing shopping, but I needed it to stay focused and not give up. They practically learned every parking space ideal for vehicle near our home is residence and their workplace. They most certainly did it at their workplace office buildings as well. The most upsetting discovery was that they did it all the time in our home, in our bed, living room, kitchen, and everywhere. I last communicated with her approximately a month later, when we signed the divorce papers. She sought to present a chilly, detached, and superior demeanor at the time. Finally, I informed her that I was aware of all she had done with that name. Her remark was something like, "What I did was merely to gauge your reaction." I believe she didn't really comprehend what I knew. Perhaps she believed I was simply irritated by all the attention she lavished on the other man. The next weekend, I visited with her parents and told them the majority of what she had put me through, as well as the affair, although without revealing the messages. Of course, they couldn't believe her daughter could commit such heinous things. But I didn't show them the proof. It was a way of telling her, "This is how I got you. Next time, be extra cautious and conceal your hidden existence more effectively." That was the last time I spoke with anybody from her family. How did I cope with all of the trauma? I continued to attend IC and still do now. I had to rely on my friends and family. I never cover up her infidelity. It is partnering to do it. I let my emotions run wild. I wept whenever I felt like it. It came in bursts. I was okay 1 second, then I felt the severe shock of everything all over again. Simply let it all out. It will pass and become better. I haven't had one of these episodes in months, but I know I may have one in any moment, and that's okay. I began doing things I wanted to do, like going to concerts and seeing plays at theaters. Stupid COVID-19 by myself. It feels nice not to miss out on something you think you'd like just because you don't want to go alone and your buddies don't want to go with you. Attend gatherings even if you don't feel particularly compelled to do so. It's a chance to meet new people and move out of your comfort zone. Yes, it won't heal you, but the boost you receive from just chatting to new people, even if only for a few minutes, is fantastic. Make an attempt to engage with others more often. As an introvert, this is a difficult yet vital task for me. The only way to improve your ability to communicate and interact with others is to practice. Has it been simple? No way, Jose. It's a battle. But it gets better with time. I'll admit that I was doing much better until COVID-19 swept across my nation and brought everything to a halt. I felt like I was moving backwards in my rehabilitation during the last 3 months since all of the things I used to deal with the circumstance were no longer accessible. Concerts and performances were postponed. Parties and activities were postponed. Friendship meetings were prohibited. When we were told to remain at home, I went to my parents' house to be with them. Despite being in a very wealthy situation, I sometimes feel confined and suffocated since I can't go outside and take a stroll in a beautiful garden or take a break from the people in my home. We adore one another, but we all need our own space. As a result, I found myself returning to all of the things she did more often, which has been difficult. Thank you for sticking with me this far. You are deserving of a medal. I'd also want to thank everyone who has contacted me via my past postings and comments. Knowing that an online stranger cares may seem little, but it may be the difference between being locked in a sad attitude and turning yourself around and returning with fresh vigor. I'm hoping that my tale will benefit someone. I know it's difficult, but it is possible to end all emotional abuse. You are worth it on your own, and you don't need anybody else to tell you that. Take control of your life and live for yourself. You've got this.